Negative status in Wuthering Waves is quietly becoming one of the most important mechanics in the entire game. And with the rework shown in the 2.8 livestream, plus Chisa's kit pushing these systems even further, we need to ask a real question. Is negative status actually the future of version 3.0? And if so, is Chisa the gateway unit who unlocks all of it? Let's break this down properly. But before we dive deep into the future of 3.0, a quick word from sponsor, EnjoyGM. This segment is important because a lot of you ask how to save money while preparing for new banners, and EnjoyGM is honestly one of the easiest ways to top up your favorite games at a lower price. EnjoyGM is a safe and reliable top-up platform where you can recharge games like Wuthering Waves, Honkai, Star Rail, and Zenless Zone Zero for cheaper than the official stores. Using it is super simple. Just head to the EnjoyGM website, select your game, pick the top-up pack you want, enter your UID, choose your server, and you're done. You never need to enter your password because EnjoyGM uses secure official recharge channels. That means no account access is required. Your top-up reaches your account safely in minutes. You can check them out using the link in the description. Negative status refers to a group of stackable debuffs or damage overtime effects that enemies can suffer from when hit by certain attribute attacks. Instead of relying only on raw burst windows, negative status deals consistent damage, triggers additional effects, or sets up bigger payoffs later in the rotation. Before 2.8, negative status felt like a side mechanic, something that existed but didn't define gameplay, but changed this completely by giving 4 major attributes clear, strong negative status identities. This update effectively turned negative status into a full combat system, not a side note. Havoc Bane. Havoc attacks can now apply a stackable Havoc Bane effect. Each stack reduces the enemy's def by 2%, up to 3 stacks by default. This doesn't just buff one Resonator's damage, it buffs your whole team. Havoc Bane is now a universal damage amplifier and a core meta tool. Fusion Burst. Fusion attacks apply Fusion Burst stacks, and at 10 stacks an explosion triggers that deals massive fusion damage. This turns any sustained fusion attacker into a rotation-based nuke machine, rewarding consistent application and opening up new team archetypes. Glacio Chafe. Glacio attacks apply Glacio Chafe. It deals Glacio damage and slows enemies per stack. At 10 stacks, the enemy is completely frozen and the stacks reset. This is now one of the strongest control tools in the game, adding CC and chip DPS to any Glacio unit. Electro Flare. Electro attacks apply Electro Flare, which deals periodic electro damage and consumes half its stacks per tick. At max stacks, new stacks convert into Electro Rage, which empowers the next Electro Flare trigger. This creates a ramping, sawtooth pattern of Electro that rewards fast-hitting Electro units. The more the game evolves, the more effective negative status becomes. Kuro is introducing more units who interact with statuses directly. Echo sets like Thread of Severed Fate buff negative status application. This is not subtle, it's targeted design. Future bosses are designed around punishing burst-only teams. Sustained ramp damage is being rewarded more and more. All signs point in one direction. Negative status is becoming a long-term pillar of the combat system. This is the part that matters most. Chisa isn't just another Havoc character. She's the first true negative status support in the entire game, and that makes her the shorekeeper or gateway unit for everything Kuro plans to introduce later. Here's why. First, Chisa's outro skill increases the maximum stack limit of negative status effects, including Electro Rage. This immediately raises the ceiling for every duty-based Resonator released in the future. Anyone who relies on stacking to scale damage becomes stronger simply by existing in the same team as Chisa. Second, Chisa's Havoc nature interacts directly with Havoc Bane. Not only can she apply it herself, she can also amplify the damage potential of any character who takes advantage of Death Shred. In other words, she makes future debuff-based characters automatically more effective. Third, Chisa is designed around sustained rotations, healing, and consistent uptime. This is exactly what units need. Burst characters need cooldowns, units need time. Chisa gives them both survivability and consistency, making her a foundational support. Simply put, Chisa is not just a unit, she's the system opener. She is the doorway that future units will walk through. 3.0 is shaping up to be a major system expansion patch, and all current signs point toward negative status being one of the main featured mechanics. So, is negative status the future of Wuthering Waves heading into 3.0? With the 2.8 attribute reworks, new echo sets, and a support unit like Chisa, Chisa, who literally expands the system's limits. Negative status is clearly one of the major directions Kuro is leaning into. If you want to future-proof your account for the upcoming era, she might end up being one of the most valuable investments you can make. Comment down below your thoughts on Chisa, and what do you expect in 3.0?